Bhagavatam, text 13. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated as the Supersoul within the course of the hearts of all living entities, whether moving or non moving, including man, birds, animal, trees. Bhagavatam, text 13. And indeed all living entities. Therefore, you should consider everybody as a residence or temple of the Lord. By such vision, you will satisfy the Lord. You should not angrily kill these living entities in the forms of trees. Text 14. One who inquires into self realization and thus subdues his powerful anger, which awakens suddenly in the body as if falling from the sky, transcends the influence of the modes of material nature. Text 15. There is no need to burn these poor trees any longer. Let whatever trees still remain be happy. Indeed, you should also be happy. Now, here is a beautiful, well qualified girl named Marisa, who was raised by the trees as their daughter. You may accept this beautiful girl as your wife. Text 16. Sukdev Goswami continued, my dear king, after thus specifying the Prachitas, Soma, the king of the moon, gave them that beautiful girl born of Pram, Pramloka Apsara. The Prachitas all received Pramloka's daughter, who had high, very beautiful hips, and married her according to the religious system. Text 17. In the womb of that girl, the Prachitas all begot a son named Daksha, who filled the three worlds with living entities. Text 18. Sukdev Goswami continued, please hear from me with great attention how Prajapati Daksha, who was very affectionate to his daughters, created different types of living entities through his semen and through his mind. Text 19. With his mind, Prajapati Daksha first created all kinds of demigods, demons, human beings, birds, beasts, aquatics, and so on. Text 20. But when Prajapati Daksha saw that he was not properly generating all kinds of living entities, he approached a mountain near the Vindhya mountain range, and there he executed very difficult austerities. Text 21. Near that mountain was very holy place named Aghamarsana. There Prajapati Daksha executed realistic ceremonies and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, by engaging in such austerities to please him. Text 22. My dear king, I shall fully explain to you the Hamsa Guhya prayers, which were offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by Daksha, and I shall explain how the Lord was pleased with him for those prayers. Text 23. Prajapati Daksha said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental to the illusory energy and the physical category it produces. He possesses the potency of unfailing knowledge and supreme willpower, and he is the controller of the living entities and illusory energy. The conditioned souls who have accepted this material manifestation as everything cannot see him, for he is above the evidence of experimental knowledge, self evident and self sufficient. He is not caused by any superior cause. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madhavi. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Aradhya Madhavi, whenever you're ready, you can start, Madhavi.
Oh, can you share the screen if you don't mind? Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dharat Prabhu. Prabhuji, can you please share the screen?
Yeah,
The verse?
sure, I can do that.
It's just circling, so I'm not able.
Let me know if you want the verse and translation
Yeah,
purport or.
or send the purports as well. Yeah.
Okay, let me show.
Thank you.
Make it big again.
Starting from 14.
Yeah?
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continuing chapter 4, which is the Hamsa Guhya prayer offered to the Lord by Prajapati Daksha. So just a quick context. So Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know how different species were created from Srila Sukadeva Goswami. So this topic continues about Visarga. So in text 1 to 15, most of you, you have heard it yesterday and the day before, that about how Lord Soma God, pacifies Prachetas from burning all the trees. His Soma God is specifying by saying that trees and vegetables are eatables for living entities created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nature arranged different foods for different living entities, and that their duty is to protect the citizens. And he's also, this is like Soma God is saying that, he's also saying that you should follow the footsteps of your father, grandfather, and rule the citizens properly. So please control your anger. Don't become so angry. In the 12th verse, you saw that just as parents, they protect children, eyelids protect eyes, husband protects women, householder protects beggars, and learned people protect innocent people. Similarly, king is supposed to protect all the citizens, and trees are supposed to be protected by the king as well. So he's saying that you should not kill the trees like this, and don't become so angry. So just a little bit of it, like, because there are no purpose. A lot of them doesn't have any purpose. So Daksha wanted to increase the praja. He created praja with demigods, human, different species. But he saw that the rate it's increasing, it's creating, is not to his expectations. So he started doing the austerities to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when he started the austerities, the Supreme Lord personally appeared in front of him. But this section is before the Supreme Lord appeared. So let's go to text 13 and 14, which is the purport of the day. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that we should see everyone equally. Although externally we see so many different bodies, internally there is a soul. So along with the soul, there is the super soul. And the whole world is manifested according to the desires of the soul through the agency of material nature, which is directed by the super soul. Krishna knows our desires, just like one can understand the flavor of a flower by smelling it. He's arranging everything accordingly. Specifically in the human form of life, we have a choice. We have a choice to orient our desires toward life, towards spiritual conception of life. Or we can do one more thing. We can just remain in ignorant misconception of misidentifying ourselves and others with gross material body. So if one orients himself towards the light, then gradually one will come to the light. That's a simple concept. So Krishna tries to convince Arjun from the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita that we are not the body. So in text 14, In his purport to his text, Srila Prabhupada reveals one secret to his success. So this is Srila Prabhupada's moment to spreading his Krishna consciousness moment, that he kept his followers constantly engaged in activities conducive to devotion. So he says that by engaging one in devotional service, the Krishna consciousness movement keeps one always transcendental to anger, greed, lust, envy, and so forth. One must perform devotional service because otherwise one will become victimized by the modes of material nature. So as practicing devotees, we should always check our own consciousness. That is, did I perform any Krishna conscious activities without being envy, without being angry, etc. So this will help us be on track. So there are no purports on text 15 through 17, but in the translation, Marisa was mentioned. This I heard from Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, that once, it's in the Srimad Bhagavatam as well, there was once a great sage named Kandu, and he was doing his austerities. When Kandu was doing austerities, Indra, who became very insecure because of his position, you know, he had sent one Apsara named Pramaloka to distract Kandu from his austerity. So when Premloka came, Kandu was distracted. And because of Kandu and Premloka, one baby girl named Marisha was born. Since Premloka was an Apsara, she said, I will not take care of the girl. And since Kandu was also a sage, he will not take care of the girl as well. So both of them left. So the baby girl was just laying there. Well, this is in the forest there, and all the trees took care of her. Means the Lord of the trees, the vegetation, moon god, or Soma, and took care of that baby girl and nourished her. Of the girl of Premloka and the sage Kandu. So afterwards, this Soma god came to the Prachetas and told Pracheta to marry this girl named Marisha. And also the Supreme Lord also instructed Prachetas to marry this girl Marisha. So just keeping this short. So the Prachetas married Marisha, and through Marisha, Pracheta begot Daksha. So, so this is how Prajapati Daksha came into being. So Prajapati Daksha was the son of Brahma in his previous life. So in the fourth canto, you saw that the episode of King Daksha, where Daksha offends Lord Shiva, and eventually he becomes the cause of death of Sati also. Sati is his daughter. And Lord Shiva sends Virabhadra to behead Daksha. So Daksha was beheaded, and Brahma goes and pacifies Lord Shiva. And after that convincing, Lord Shiva places a goat head on the body of Daksha, and Daksha's life was revived. So after some time, Daksha gives up the goat body with that goat head. And in the next birth, he is born of his son of Prachetas and Marisha. So this is the second birth of Daksha. Daksha was Daksha in his previous birth as well. And his duty is to increase the population of universe in both births. But the point here is that because of his offense to great devotee Lord Shiva, he gave up his Brahmana body, and in the next birth, he appeared as Kshatriya. So Brahmana body, a Brahmana birth is considered superior to Kshatriya body, Kshatriya birth. So basically he got a little degraded birth. And ultimately, as we know that it's not about being born as Brahmana and Kshatriya, but by birth, but it's about qualities. Although Daksha was born as Brahmana in his previous birth, he didn't exhibit the qualities of tolerance and satisfaction. Instead, he became very envious of high position of Lord Shiva. There is no purport in text 16, so text 17. So here, he insulted Lord Shiva and gave up his body. So this is about Daksha. Now, thousands of years later, as I said before, that he was born through Marisha and Prachetas. Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport on the 17th text that Daksha regained his previous opulence and again begot thousands and millions of children to fill the three worlds. So in text 18, you see that Daksha so in text 18, you see that Daksha created different types of species in this world. So before doing that, Daksha went to perform austerities. After ruling the kingdom for some years, Prachetas retired. And Daksha didn't assume the role of king immediately. He wanted to do austerity at a place named Agamarshana, near the Vindhya mountain range. He did austerities to please the Lord. So he said he did austerities for 5 manvantaras in order to regain the generative power he had during the Chakshusa Manvantara, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So 5 manvantara is more than 1.5 billion years. So Daksha, while doing austerities to please the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he chanted some prayers called Hamsaguhya prayers. There's no purport on the 20, 21, so 22. So Srila Prabhupada says that it is understood to be so we should understand that Hamsaguhya prayers were not composed by Daksha, that's what Srila Prabhupada is saying, but were existing in the Vedic literature. So basically, he's taking standard prayers available in the Vedas, and he's simply reciting them to please the Supreme Lord. So as devotees, we can also chant the standard prayers from great devotees from Srimad Bhagavatam and sing it. But of course, with the understanding of the meaning and not just reciting for the sake of reciting. Just reciting the prayers is also purifying, but knowing the meaning and reciting have greater benefits because you apply it to your real life. So it's always good to pray with your, it's always good to pray with your personal prayers for practicing devotees or what's available in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we can appreciate Krishna's reciprocation towards us, Krishna's mercy in our life, and we can also see Krishna's help in progressing in spiritual life. So last text, text 23 for today. So in this Hamsaguhya prayers, so this is the first one, so you will see more later. Daksha glorifies Lord Vishnu in various ways. And then probably you'll hear more about it tomorrow, as I have until text 23 today. He says that, Daksha says that You are transcendental to this material existence. So you're beyond this material existence. You are the source of real knowledge. You are the true controller. You are unseen or self-manifest. So he's offering his respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I'm going to end here. As more to come tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you, Sanana Prabhu, for sharing the screen. Hare Krishna.
Yeah,